What if I told you you could set up a corporation in days instead of weeks? And what if I told you that you could do it through LLCattorney.com, which has attorney backing and has been created by attorneys to ensure your compliance? And in that way, you can avoid paying an attorney big fees to form your corporation. I'm Jonathan Feniak. I'm an attorney, and I'm here with LLCattorney.com, and I'm here to tell you about corporations and how to form them. Before we get started, though, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, most entrepreneurs don't actually need to form a corporation. You only need to form a corporation if, in my view, you're going to be raising money from outside investors. If you're not raising money, an LLC in almost all cases is a much better choice. If you're not going to be raising capital, I really encourage you to watch the video I did on how to choose between an LLC and a corporation. So there's a link in the description. That may be a better option for your business, but if you've come back here, you've watched that video, and you say a corporation is right for me, I'm going to show you exactly how to form that corporation quickly, properly, and efficiently through LLCattorney.com. We're not going to give you a general overview. This is going to be directly showing you what to do and what choices to make and what the decision points are during that formation process. So to get started, what do? Go to LLCattorney.com. Go to the top of the page. Every page should say, start your business, or something similar. Sometimes we change the wording up there, but it should say something to that effect. Once you click that, it's going to ask you to select your state of formation. You have choice about where you're going to form your corporation. You don't need to form it in your home state. Savvy entrepreneurs know that strategically choosing the state that is going to be best for your investors is the right move to make. And really, there's only two choices that I see. You've got Delaware and you've got Wyoming. Delaware is when you have really institutional investors, right? Those institutional investors want all of the companies they invest in to be in one jurisdiction because it makes things easy for them. Typically, though, if you've got friends and family round or angel funding, you can go with a choice between Delaware and Wyoming. And I recommend Wyoming because Wyoming is great for privacy, and it's also great for protecting the owners, CEOs, board of the corporation. So in this example, we're going to, when we walk through the order form, we're going to assume Wyoming. It could be Delaware, very similar process in Delaware to form your corporation. So let's move through this order form and show you what other choices you need to make. Next, you're going to select the entity type. The default, we've made it easy for most people. Default is going to be LLC, but if you feel comfortable choosing that corporation, then please move forward with that. There is some confusion here about whether you need a C Corp or an S Corp or a corporation. And this is where I see a lot of confusion because maybe their accountant tells them, go form an S Corp. And they say, oh, I need an S Corp. Well, it includes the word corp in it, so I better form a corporation. Not true. You can have an LLC that elects to be classified as an S Corp. S Corp and C Corp are tax classifications. Entity types are LLC or corporation. You're not going to see a choice there for, I want to form an S Corp. It does not exist. And when someone says that to me, I know we got to do a little bit of education on it. So that's what I'm doing here. So the corporation, if you form a corporation, your default tax classification would be a C Corp. And I have to say, most investors would not want you to be an S Corp because it only can be owned by individuals. It can't be owned by foreign people. There's a lot of sort of restrictions on who can own an S Corp. So the default classification would be a C Corp if you form a corporation, which is going to be exactly what you want. So if you are raising that capital, corporation with C Corp tax classification is going to be most likely the best choice for you. The next step, you got to choose a name for your company. Some people, they drive themselves crazy and becomes an analysis paralysis on this, right? And here we're choosing Atlas Innovations, Inc. I like that name. You know why? It's generic. People try to form the company name, and maybe you're going to be a SaaS company. You think you're going to do SaaS, and you're only going to offer the service in America, in the United States, and you call it America's Best SaaS, Inc., right? Well, suppose you want to expand to a broader international market. That name doesn't work anymore. Suppose you decide you don't want to be a SaaS company, you're going to be an AI company. You're sort of redirecting the company. You're changing lanes with the company, you would be locked into a name that doesn't make sense at that point. So what I recommend is you choose a fairly generic name, and then you can do a trade name or a DBA or a fictitious name. There's a bunch of different names for it depending on the state. And that's like a nickname for your company, right? So you can have a generic Atlas Innovations Inc., and then you could have America's Best SaaS as a trade name, and you could have Brazil's Best SaaS as a trade name. So you can adopt and be flexible on the naming of a company. So don't let this stop you trying to find the perfect name. It's really not that important. So hopefully you get through that step quickly here. Choose a name that is fairly generic for you. It's important to note here, privacy is important to you, or you're getting that venture capital, right? Don't call it Jonathan Feniak Inc., right? That may feel good, stroke your ego a bit, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to know it's your company, which maybe you want, but there may be situations where you don't want that, and it's also, I don't think, very appealing to those potential investors. Next step in the process is you're going to enter your contact information. So this information is going to remain confidential, okay? We have to maintain your information. We have to have it on file related to your company, but we try our best to keep it out of the Secretary of State records, and we try to keep that information private. One of the things I'm going to point out, though, Wyoming is a real differentiator here because the name of the officers and directors, shareholders, are not going to be publicly listed. But in Delaware, there could be requirements to list those individuals in the public records, in those Secretary of State records. So we do our best to keep your information private as long as it's not violating the state law. And so the information you input here is going to be private in most cases, especially in Wyoming. Delaware, you may have issues later on down the road. So we have divided entity formation and maintenance into two parts because we think they're very different. We have two bundles that you're going to have to select. One is going to be your formation bundle, and then the other is going to be your ongoing compliance bundle. There's key parts to each of them, and I want you to make sure you dig into the details inside of the client portal. Make sure you understand exactly what you're getting. There's a basic package for those who are very budget conscious. That is going to be sort of a bare bones formation. The next level up, the professional bundle, is I think what most people need. It contains more. And the important thing that it contains for most people is going to be getting that EIN number. We will obtain an EIN number for the company quickly, and we will obtain it correctly. And this is the correctly part is sometimes the challenge for individual business owners. If you want to, you can totally free, go to the IRS website and get an EIN yourself. The problem I see is that there's a lot of more complicated and nuanced questions when you go to the IRS website that we have figured out the correct answers based on all the information you've given us up until this point. So we can get that EIN for you correctly the first time. And I have to say, if you don't do it right the first time, working with the IRS can be very challenging and time-consuming for you with multiple hours of wait time. Try getting questions answered. I highly recommend you choose that bundle that includes the EIN for the formation bundle. And then on the ongoing compliance bundle, the great thing about that is we have separated out these two things, and they are different, right? Forming the company is different from making sure the company remains compliant over time. And the compliance bundles are designed, again, some people are budget conscious, some people who need more services and more products, things like non-disclosure agreements or independent contractor agreements, potential to change tax elections and the like. Those things come in the different bundles. Evaluate your needs. If you're not sure, I want you to be able to really feel comfortable choosing a bundle that you think is going to fit your needs today. Your needs may change. You may need to go up a bundle, you may need to come down a bundle, and that is totally up to you. There's no long-term commitment. You have to have a bundle because the basic one includes the registered agent service, which you got to have, but all of the other bundles, the next steps up in the bundles, you can switch from one bundle to another depending on the needs of the company. And if you're not sure which bundle's right for you, highly recommend you call in to the business success specialists who I have trained, and they can help you understand all of the different things you get with each bundle. So don't feel locked in, easy to change, easy to switch bundles, and make the right decision for you based on your best assessment at the time you're forming the company, and then you can change if needed later on. Finally, let's review everything and submit. So one of the things we really tried to do, and there actually is a screen that says add-ons, right? And the add-ons, I got to say, most people don't need add-ons, and if you need those add-ons, you can actually get them a la carte later on. But we don't, I've been through the a process to set up a company with other firms, sort of secret shopping. And what I've seen is they offer you 30 different things. You're like, I don't know if I need that. Should I do this? Should I do that? We try to make it clear. There's no surprise fees or hidden charges. You've got your state fee, can't avoid, formation fee, can't avoid, and you've got your ongoing compliance fees you can't avoid. But there are multiple ways to select what's best for you as you're going through that. So if you do have any questions, so again, our team is there. They can help you understand what's involved in each bundle. And the good news is we will get your documents, your articles of incorporation, filed with the state in less than 24 hours. There you have it. Video is about 9 minutes, 10 minutes long. I think it'll take you less time than that to actually form the corporation, but you're going to go into that formation process well armed with information about the decisions you need to make. And it really can be done in very short order. And it should not take weeks or months to actually have that, to bring that corporation to life. I hope you found this valuable. And if you have, I'd like you to go down, hit the like button, and subscribe for more. If you do want to speak with our team, you can call. Right? The business success team is there to help you, and I always recommend you start there, and then they will tell you if they think you need to speak with an attorney, and we do have attorneys who can definitely assist you with determining whether a corporation's right for you, how you should progress, and what the best route is going to be for you in your particular situation.